Joining us now from Job Creators Network, she's its chief spokesperson there and the president and CEO of the Job Creators Foundation, Elaine Parker. Elaine, great to have you.
Hey, John, how are you?
Good. We're having a lot of fun today. What'd you think of our AOC montages?
I thought it was great. I was cracking up. She is the gift that keeps on giving, though, and it's amazing to see, the different things that will come out of her mouth and what she wants to support. And half the time I can't really follow what she's saying, but she tends to get a lot of media coverage on anything she says, including all the likes.
What is amazing is somebody is running against her, some Republican in the Bronx or something. She was on, I think, Fox News last night. Didn't present herself too well, first-time candidate. But I'm thinking to myself, I don't want her to win. I want AOC to win because, as long as she's there and she's dominating the conversation and she has this huge social media platform, she is the face of the Democratic Party, the new Democratic Party. And, that people are going to have to decide if that's what they want. So I want her to win and keep tweeting or texting her, whatever she does. Let's get to these tax cuts. Elaine, look, it is March 28th, right? Only 18 days before filing deadline. As people are filing these taxes, what are some of the things they're going to find that are going to be different from what they did last year?
Well, what they found starting last year in February is that they got more money back in their paycheck. So all along, most Americans have been benefiting from the tax cuts in that they've been able to keep more of their own money in their paychecks. But all of the tax rates across the board came down for everybody. So your overall tax savings for as an individual is about $1,500 for the entire year. For a family of four, it's about $3,000. There's some really good elements in the bill for small businesses. There's a 20% tax deduction for pass-through businesses, and those are what we call Main Street small businesses. They're partnerships and sole proprietorships and, small businesses that are able to really benefit, and they're able to shield about a fifth of their income that they can directly and reinvest back into their business. And then another piece that's been just a game changer and not really talked about is the ability for small businesses to immediately expense capital investments. So if you're a small business and you want to buy, you're a restaurant and you want to buy, a new pizza oven, and you're investing a lot of money there, then you're going to be able to immediately expense that investment. If you're a delivery company and you need to buy a new truck, same thing. You're going to be able to expense it immediately in the year that it was purchased. Those are real game changers for small businesses, and that's what we're seeing and hearing from our members is that they're able to grow and invest and hire and raise wages as a result of all of these things in the tax bill.
That is the other thing that as people are filling this out, what we're going to find, Elaine, is the number of households or single or married filers that are now not itemizing because it makes more sense for them to take the increased and expanded standard deductions. Now that saves, here's another thing that's just gone under the radar screen, Elaine, that saves filers an enormous amount of time and energy, right? Because you file the form with the standard deductions, it's really easy to do, right? You take, this is standard, this is, one person, two people, then children comes off the top. You're not doing all that itemization. That's something that has also not been emphasized.
Absolutely. I mean, the goal of this was to lower the tax rates and simplify the process for the American public. And you brought up a really important element for individuals. The standard deduction for single filers has doubled from $6,000 to about $12,000. And for married couples, it's gone from $12,000 to $24,000. And what that means, just in simple terms, is that the first $24,000 of your income is tax-free. It's absolutely tax-free. And when you lower the tax rates, too, you're going to see everybody's overall tax bill come down. And if your listeners go to our taxcutswork.com website, they can actually plug in their numbers from their W-2 for 2017 and their numbers from their W-2 from 2018, and they can actually see what the overall tax savings is, because we've got a calculator on that website, which calculates it very simply, and it'll tell them exactly what the total savings is for them year over year.
Well, that's what you need to do. Go to taxcutswork.com, taxcutswork.com, because you're going to be able to see what you actually saved. And don't let the legacy lying mainstream media try to tell you what you didn't save, because they've been lying to you about this tax cut, Elaine, and everybody else. They've been lying to you for 18 months, saying it was a tax cut for the rich. It doesn't benefit middle income or lower income people, etc. That's all lies, because if you do the tables, you're going to find out what the savings are. I mean, we did ours. The savings was enormous. And just at the time, I mean, Ann would spend, my wife does her taxes, and we call her the Fräulein, right? And she would spend hours doing all these itemizations. Now, like, she got it done, like, normally it would get done in April 15th, right? She'd be working on it for weeks. She got these done in March, like, done, filed. And she said that it cut probably 15 or 16 hours out of the normal time it would take her to do these taxes. And that is just a huge benefit for people. It simplifies it. Plus, you save money. And in Virginia, what they did is, Elaine, the Republicans in Virginia passed legislation where they aligned the state tax starting next year with the federal tax. So it's all going to be the same, so you're not caught in the middle. And then this year what they did is they said, if you're a joint filer, you're getting a check back for $220. If you're a single filer, you're getting the check back in October for $110. That's how we'll reconcile 2018 taxes. Then 2019, they'll be in alignment. So when local governments are doing that, don't you think that the Congress should look at just making these personal tax cuts permanent the way they did on the corporate side?
Absolutely, and that's the big lie being told by the other side and in the mainstream media. The reality is, because of congressional rules and that this was solely passed on a partisan basis, these tax cuts for individuals and small business are set to expire in 2025, and they don't have to. I mean, this is middle class, small business. That's who's going to be directly impacted. And the folks in Congress should absolutely vote to make these permanent. There's no reason not to. That shouldn't be a partisan issue at all. And what that would continue to do is give people certainty. It would give small business certainty for their future planning. 2025 isn't that far out, and it allows small businesses to continue planning. I mean, the reality is, since these tax cuts have taken effect, we have seen it's been like rocket fuel for this economy. More than 5 million jobs have been created. We have a 50-year historic low unemployment rate. Unemployment is at historic lows for Hispanics, blacks, women, Asians, teens, the disabled, veterans. And there's more jobs available now than there are people to fill them. 7.6 million jobs available. There's only 6.5 million people unemployed. And we're seeing wages go up. We're seeing actually non-supervisory wages go up faster than supervisory wages. So truly, the middle class are the ones benefiting from this tax bill. Why would we not want to see these tax cuts made permanent?
That's got to be the new big issue here, is making these permanent as people get accustomed to them. And once you do your new taxes and you don't itemize, obviously there's some people that are still going to have to itemize. They feel that's in their best interest. But if you just are able to go from itemizing to take the standard deductions, and as you said, family of four, a married couple, $24,000, boom, right off the bat. As long as they're able to do that, and they start seeing how easy it is, to have these expire is going to be a disaster, because people are going to be like, I don't want to go back to the old way and pay more money. So we ought to get this done. You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network. We're with Elaine Parker. Elaine is the chief spokesperson for the Job Creators Network, and my favorite website of all time, taxcutswork.com. Go to taxcutswork.com. Here's what you can do there. Two things. Number one, fill out the petition to tell Nancy Pelosi you want to keep your tax cut. because she wants to get rid of it and increase your taxes. Second thing, there's a table there that's going to show you exactly how much money you saved 2018 and 2017 taxes. That's going to be the real number. So go ahead and do that. Now, let's get to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her new Green Deal. So it goes down in flames yesterday or 2 days ago, but in an amazing profile of courage, Elaine. This is amazing. So 47 Democrat senators don't have the guts to vote no, or they vote present. Even Senator Markey from Massachusetts, who was co-sponsor of the resolution, votes present. Only, I think it was 3 Democrats said, this is crazy, and voted no. Angus King, who's technically an independent from Maine, Kristen Simona from Arizona, who's turning out to be a little bit better than I thought she'd be, to be honest. And then the third one is Joe Manchin in West Virginia. They said, this is the stupidest thing we've ever seen. They vote no. 47 Democratic senators vote present. I mean, either you vote for it or not, right? What's the deal with that?
Absolutely, and not to mention the Democratic senators that are running for president: Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, Kristen Gillibrand, Cory Booker, and Bernie Sanders. They all co-sponsored this bill. They all have been campaigning and raising money on this bill, on this issue, and they all voted present. I mean, where's the courage of their convictions? They either support it or they don't.
Vote for it or not. I mean, this whole thing with I'm going to vote present, it's just, I couldn't believe that. I mean, if you're for it, vote for it. If you're not, vote no. And but the 3 Democratic senators that voted no, and not only did they vote no, but they blasted it. I mean, if you looked at Sinema's statement in Arizona, she basically said, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So, I mean, she's got the courage to do that, but they don't want to do it because, look, they're afraid, right? Because go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you want to know what Job Creators Network response was to it, we did what we always do. We put up a billboard in Times Square in New York City with a message to AOC asking her if she had the green raw deal blues after that vote. And the reality is maybe it was that $93 trillion price tag that nobody could stomach, not even those on her side of the aisle.
I mean, basically, what her resolution said is you can't fly, you can't drive, you can't eat meat because too many cows are farting. I mean, the thing was so absurd that for people like me to even have taken it seriously, I could never even take this as something you would actually debate. It was that absurd. Yet you had 47 Democrats who refused to vote no. And as you said, almost every presidential candidate embraced it like it was America's future. It's crazy.
Well, there's a lot of cows breathing a sigh of relief right now, but make no mistake, I am confident that we will see pieces of this legislation come back individually. They will break it up and they will work on smaller pieces and trying to get elements of this bill passed as much as they can. And we will continue seeing that. And the American people are wise to this. They understand that this is not a policy that's going to help us. We all want to have, cleaner air. We all want to have healthy children. We all want to have those things that AOC talks about. But we can't move so fast that we do things at the expense of our own economic interests too. It's got to be a balance so that everyone continues benefiting from both efforts.
This has got to be one of the most absurd resolutions I've seen, and I've been covering politics, Elaine, I'm 61 years old, so you got to do the math. It's decades, and I've never seen anything as completely asinine as this been taken seriously by a lot of people, including the lying legacy fake news media. Elaine, why not a new billboard on Times Square with the cows on it, saying that they've been saved from, the Green New Deal? That would be a good one, wouldn't it?
We did put the cow on it with the same
Yeah, I saw
cows
that.
expression. That happens to be my favorite aspect of the billboard is the cows expression. And like I said, there's a lot of cows out there that are breathing a sigh of relief.
I know, absolutely. All right, Elaine, where do we go from here?
You know, I think we continue with the message that socialism takes and capitalism creates. This is a great discussion for us to have, and I've said it before, but one of the things that I appreciate about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is that she is very honest with the American people about where she wants to take this country, and this is a great debate for us to finally have out in the open without it being shielded with fancy messaging. She wants to take us towards socialism. We do not want to be the next Venezuela, and the American people are going to flatly reject it.
Well, I think Bernie Sanders is going to be the nominee. I have no doubt in my mind, and I have a lot of reasons for that I don't want to get into now. But if you look at the map and the math, he is going to finish first or second in Iowa. He already won Iowa the last time. He got cheated out of it. It was stolen from him by the DNC and the Clinton people on a series of coin flips. I mean, the thing was absurd. He is going to crush the field in New Hampshire. That's going to be the end of Warren's campaign. She'll be out after that. Then they go to South Carolina. Somebody's got to beat him there, whether it be Kamala Harris or somebody else. Cory Booker, somebody has to beat him there. Maybe he gets beat there. Florida will be tough. But then he gets to the Midwest, Wisconsin, Michigan. These are states he's going to win. And then he's going to go back to the Northeast, and he's going to win those states, Delaware, things like that. He's going to be the nominee. So it's going to be Sanders-Trump. Who wins?
I mean, I think the American people are going to win when they vote for capitalism, when they vote for a strong economy, when they vote for the policies that we have had for the last 2 years that have been rocket fuel and allowed us to grow at a rate that we haven't seen in, 2 decades. So I think the American people are going to be winners. I think that they're going to vote in their best interest, and it's going to be for a continuation of these types of economic policies.
Do you imagine we're actually going to have a debate in 2020, capitalism versus socialism in the United States of America during a time of unprecedented economic growth and expansion? I mean, if somebody were to predict this 5 years ago, you would say that's like one of the most absurd predictions I've ever heard. You could see this if we were in a pronounced recession or a depression. That's when these things bubble up. But at a time of economic expansion, it's unbelievable that we're actually debating capitalism versus socialism, especially what's going on in Venezuela, where they're handing out boxes of food every day. Unbelievable. I'm out of time. I want to thank.
I say
Go ahead,
bring it
Elaine.
on. We're going to win.
Bring it on. That should be your next billboard. Bring it on. Elaine Parker, Chief Spokesperson, Job Creators Network. Go to taxcutswork.com. That's taxcutswork.com.